Hello, friends. Okay, so this is the project. This is a test grade. You need to be working on this every single day. It's going to take you time. It's going to take a lot of work, okay? But we're gonna have time to work on it. You need to be working on it every day. If I were you, I would shoot for like at least 1 to 2 pages a day getting it done, okay? So what's going to happen here is we have all of these pages. So these white pages are the problems that you're working, okay? Then you have all these color pages down here, and these have blocks that you're gonna be able to click and move. So you're gonna control copy, nope, let's just do cut and paste. Let's just cut it and we'll paste it onto the boxes where they belong. So every one of these are gonna end up, you're gonna have one of these on each one of these pages up here. You're gonna have one of these on each one of these pages up here. You'll have one orange. So every white page up here will end up having one of each color, okay? So number 2 here, we're gonna talk about how to get all of these things from a table tomorrow. So I'm gonna start looking at number 3 with you. I'm gonna do this problem with you and do the whole thing. And then you'll be able to use that, and tomorrow you'll be able to come back and do this one. So I'll come back and show you how to do that one tomorrow, okay? All right, so we have several things that we're gonna have to identify. We're gonna have to come up with a table of values, an equation, an axis of symmetry, y-intercept, solutions, x-intercepts, vertex, and roots. Well, we know that solutions, roots, and x-intercepts are all the same thing. So all of these should be the same numbers. So once you figure out one of them, you should get the rest of them, okay? And x-intercepts are where we cross the x-axis. So I can look at my graph here and I can see that this crosses at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 1 and 5. So I'm going to come down here until I find the one that says x-intercepts. And I'm going to find the one that says 1 and 5. That's 2 and 4. Negative 5, 3, 2, 4, 1 and 5. Here we go. We're going to right click and cut. And then come up here to number 3 that we were on. We're going to right click and paste. And this guy goes right here on x-intercepts. Well, x-intercepts, roots, and solutions are the same, so now I'm going to go to roots and solutions. Here's solutions. I'm going to find the one that has 1 and 5. Here we go. Right click, cut. Come up here, right click, paste, and then I'm going to drag it over here to solutions. Roots is going to be the same, so I'm coming down here to the page that has all the roots on it. 1 and 5. I'm going to cut and come up here and paste and drag it to where it goes. It goes on roots. Okay, so all I've done so far was look at my graph and said, well, that's crossing at 1, that's crossing at 5. So these are my x-intercepts, my solutions. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here on this graph. Now I can look at my vertex. So my vertex is that lowest point. So I need to say minimum. And this is at 3, negative 4. So this point here is 3, negative 4. So I'm going to come down to my vertex page, which I'm not really sure what color it is. Yellow. I'm going to come down to my vertex page. I'm going to find the one that says 3, negative 4. And it says minimum. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to come back up to the top. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to make sure it's on vertex. Okay. So, because we have the vertex now, we can get our axis of symmetry. So our axis of symmetry is x equals this number right here. So x equals 3. So I'm looking at my axis of symmetry. Here, this one says x equals 3. I'm going to cut. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to paste. And I'm going to put that on axis of symmetry. Okay. So now I can't really see my y-intercept, but I do have 3 values already. I have 2 x-intercepts and a vertex. So these are points that can be on a table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my table, and I'm going to look for a table that has X values 1, 5, and 3, and Y values 0, 0, -4. So 1, 5, and 3, there's 1, that's not 0. This one doesn't have a 5. So 1, 0, these are negatives, I don't really need that. 1, so my 1 and my 5 have 0, so I'm going to look for those first. 1 and 5, 1, that's not a 0 with it. 1, that's not a 0. 1, that's got a 0. 5's got a 0. And 3's got a -4. I'm thinking that's my answer. So I'm going to cut that. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to paste this on my table. And move it up here to my table. And the last things I have are y-intercept and equation. I'm going to finish this up with you tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to show you how to come up with an equation from the table. And then we can type it in Desmos and figure out the y-intercept, just because this graph doesn't go all the way over to our y-intercept. So it's kind of hard to see. So we'll finish these two up tomorrow. But you should be able to, from this point, you can go through and start working on the rest of these. So you have x-intercepts. These are your x-intercepts. That means these two better have the same thing, right? Then maybe look for a graph that has these x-intercepts and see if you can work from there. Then come vertex, you can at least identify your axis of symmetry and maybe see if you can find a graph with this vertex. No solutions, that means this needs to have no solutions and this needs to say no x-intercepts or none or something like that along those lines. And then you might look for a graph that doesn't cross the x-axis. So you can kind of work through and start building on these and start working on these. There's 10 problems and we're going to have like 4 or 5 days to work on this, but you need to be working, okay? So work every single day on this project. Spend time on this project. There's going to be days where I'm not posting anything because you're supposed to be working on this project. Okay, I will post an announcement saying work on the project today. If you have any questions, let me know. Work on the project every single day. I cannot stress it enough. All right, see you later.